Good morning, everybody. It's Yankee Wally here. It's 2:52 in the morning, Monday, 8th of July, 2024. I think it's actually very fair to say that I think Meghan's having a bit of a meltdown at the moment. Let me just read the Prince and Princess of Wales. Good account to follow there. Prince Harry is apparently shocked at the backlash to his ESPYs award, especially after Mary Tillman objected. He is so entitled it never crossed his mind that there are people in this world who see straight through his shallow existence. Still, he won't turn it down. His ego is too huge, and it'll be another opportunity to play the victim. This is his third award so far, and I've done all I can for America on this. Was it Jenny said to me, sent me a tweet. I was in the middle of replying, but I lost my place. Thank you for standing up for America. I love America. I never used to. I married an American, and I thought it was America that was making my marriage go wrong. And then after I left, I just thought, oh, glad to see the back of that place and him. And as time wore on, and as I've got to know more and more Americans, only through social media, I've grown to, mind you, I did live in a nutty place, didn't I? I lived in California when I was over there. And now I realise that the people in California, they are a little bit crazy. At least they were where I was. But since I've left and I've grown to know, I find them incredibly friendly, gracious, generous, kind, forgiving, and they love it. They'll forgive you anything if you say you were wrong and you apologise. And I love that because I do make a lot of mistakes, but I will always be the first to apologise. And therefore, as a result of that, I've become great friends with a lot of Americans, a lot of them. I'm connected with quite a lot of you on WhatsApp. And I don't want to worry you, but we need to take a look this evening anyway at Avid Gardener's tweets, because it's important that we do. Where is she? There she is, right, okay. I'll take it down to, there's Faith, that's Avid Gardener's daughter. I always think of her like a little pixie or a fairy. Right, here she goes. It actually came about sometime this morning when, I don't know if you've got one, I've got one, Avid's got one, a spy account. It's an account that you don't use, you just use it for looking, because people invariably block you, as you know. So as long as you don't talk on the spy account, you don't interact, you've always got an account where you can look at anything unless their tweets are protected. And then Avid Gardener confessed to me. She said, oh, God, she said, I had a spy account, but I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I tweeted something, got blocked, which basically made her whole account useless then, so she had to do another one. Who hasn't done that? Have you done it? Have you ever gone around spying with a little clean account, and all of a sudden you just couldn't help yourself? You have to give somebody a bit of back chat. Next thing you know, you're blocked. And before you know it, their friends have blocked you too. So the account is virtually useless. I've got a few useless accounts. I've got a spying account. There's no point me telling you it, because I never use it just to spy. Anyway, Megan, Avid had one of these. And this morning, somebody in the, I'm not going to say Sussex squad as in America, but if you remember my video from last night, I told you that a lot of the accounts have been taken down, either suspended, either wiped clean, or deleted by X, or whether they got frightened, but they've all had their collars felt, which is an English expression for a visit from the police or contact with the police. They had their collars felt by the police, you know. And they've gone. So that was great, but we knew it wouldn't last because, and they are idiots as well. They don't realise that once they've got you connected to one account, they can quite easily see the next account that you start, but they don't know that. So they've all come back with fresh new accounts. I think I showed you them last night. And they've come back with gusto. They're not even starting up and working their way up to their foul-mouthed rants. They're starting right at the top of the tree, coming up with some terrible, terrible things. About 10 times today I've had to answer a tweet that they've sent to Mr. Neil Mohan. I didn't know he was on X, but do you realise that Sadie Quinlan is giving people recipes for drugs? That was it. And I told you that last night, but now we were discussing, I've even got the video of it, we were discussing in a group chat, a live one. There was me, Queen Gertie, Avid, Trevor Colt, I don't know, a couple of others. There were about 5 of us on there. And I was talking about that codeine is not available in America, and how much I disagree. And I'll tell you why I disagree. There's people in America who have got addicted to the opioids. I can't even think of the name of them now. The ones that are causing all the damage. You know, the ones they charge a lot of money for. And they got a bad addiction. And what they did then, America shut the stable door after the horses bolted and completely stopped prescribing painkillers. Now, that's all well and good for the addicts. Oh, yeah, well done. But there's some of us who are getting older, in our 50s and 60s, 70s, 80s. Why should you be suffering in pain because of some addict who's in their 20s abusing the very tablets that you rely on to help you get through the day without too much pain? Because we've all got arthritis. Some of us have got fibromyalgia. Some of us have got other problems that are equally as painful. And I don't see why anybody over the age of 50, 40 even in some cases, should be denied painkillers. If you've got a pain and there's a tablet available, you should have access to it. That's what tablets are for. If they match your needs, you should have it. I will, that's a hill I am prepared to die on. So my doctor, I've been on codeine tablets now for years. And every time he tries to get me off them, I'm as straight as a die. You know me. I say, listen, doc. I think the last time we said this, I said, I'm 67. And I am. Yes, I am, doc. I'm a codeine addict. I know I am. But the thing is, I'm 67. Do you think I'm really going to end up on heroin or maybe crystal meth or anything now? He said, you're not taking more than 8 a day, are you? I said, no, you don't even give me 8 a day, but I wish you would. 8 a day is the maximum dose you can take. They give me 200 a month, so I'm allowed 6 a day and 7 if it's extra bad pain. I don't know. But anyway, he says, well, all right. And of course, I expect they record the messages and I get my codeine. So I'm quite, it's an opiate. I'm quite proud of that. And I don't see why I can't help Americans do the same. Because I know there's a lot of you out there that have really bad pains. And they say to me, the doctor won't let me have this and that. Well, I think that's just terrible. I just think it's bad and it's wrong. The tablets are invented as a painkiller. You've got pain, you should have the tablets. Now, I don't see how they can accuse you, being older now I'm talking about. When I was young, I pretty much had no said to me for everything, you know, and quite rightly so too. But as I get older and I get more aches and pains, I find the doctors are a lot more lenient. And so I say to anybody over 50 or 60, I say, well, you must say to the doctor, what are you worried about? That next week you're going to find me in Skid Row, living on Skid Row with a needle sticking out of my arm? You know, I mean, be realistic. So this was something that I'll always talk about. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I don't see why I should be. And that was going on in the group chat. I was talking about the codeine and how you can get it. You can get codeine over the counter in a chemist, though in a smaller amount. And of course, they're not just straight codeine. There's paracetamol and codeine, which in your In your neck of the woods, I think it's Tylenol is paracetamol with codeine. So you can't really take too much of the codeine because otherwise you die off the paracetamol first, because you can't overdose on that. That's my argument anyway, whether you agree or you don't. I don't care because at least I'm getting what I want, and that's pain relief. First thing in the morning when I wake up, first thing everybody loves is a cup of coffee. The joy I feel when I have my cup of coffee and I open my pill box and I take 2 paracetamol and codeine with one of my antidepressants. I now take acid reflux tablets for like Zantac sort of a thing. I get them from India. I take one of those because without those now my hernia is a bit, limited. And an ibuprofen, because you can take those with codeine. And then half an hour later, I feel great. But I wake up in agony. Sometimes I wake up because the pain in my left hip makes me want to turn over to my right hip. Sometimes you don't get a good night's sleep if you're in pain, and I'm with you on that. So if you ever want me to have a word with your doctor, just let me know. I'll tell him straight. And anyway, I love Americans because they are open to all sorts of ideas like that. And I think the Americans have had a very bad deal. I'm not talking about the addicts. That is something that should never have happened. Just because they've invented a new painkiller, there's no way in the world they can throw that out to people and say this won't harm you. Everything harms you. They went a little bit like willy-nilly with the painkillers and subsequently created a lot of addicts, and that's unforgivable. But why should you be made to suffer because of the youngsters taking too much, So I'll always stick up for that. I was talking about that in the group chat, to cut a long story short. And as usual, the Sussex squad, or the English Sussex squad, who I'll call the veterans, will pick it apart. And the next thing you know, I'm telling people how to get drugs on the black market. The worst you can twist that into, the worse they will do. And I have to tolerate that when they send then tweets to Mr. Mohan saying, do you realise this person is telling people how to mix drugs, get drugs, and stuff like that? And it goes through me. So anyway, this morning then, Avid said to me, my spy account has been hacked into because I can't log in. It's not, And I said, well, are you sure? Because I know that Avid is in close contact with Kent or Sussex police. And I know that they are going through all the evidence. There's loads of it, and they're still waiting to get a load back and so on. Can't say too much. So I said, well, perhaps it's the police doing a search on your phone number and pulling up all the data because they are looking at it. I said, just think of it that way. So she calmed down about that. At least she wasn't convinced, but she accepted that. Next thing you know, she comes up with this. Now, this is Bernard and the Carver. And they produced a screenshot of Fiona's WhatsApp, a page on her WhatsApp. I don't know if it's the address book page. It's terrified her, because if they can get into Fiona's WhatsApp. Anyway, her phone's been hacked. She had a conference call then, this evening, with Kent Police and Sussex and her daughter Faith, who we see there, our little pixie. And Royal Gibraltar Police are also involved, because they're British police, so it's Royal Gibraltar Police. The troll has posted my WhatsApp list and Sue Smith's telephone number. Ravec alerted. Ravec is the royal something. Is something royal and is something for Gibraltar. The police are aware of the bomb threats, the bullet threats and data breach. If you've been in contact with me by WhatsApp, your device may be compromised. So I'm just saying this to you because if she's saying that to her WhatsAppers, I know I'm connected to Fiona through WhatsApp. How many of you are connected to me through WhatsApp? I'm not saying you've got anything to worry about, but just keep an eye on things, okay? If you and I are connected on WhatsApp or even by text. I know there's somebody whose first name starts with a J, boxing gloves. She texts me now and again. You're at risk too. So, I'm going to sneeze again. Well, what do you know? Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, just keep an eye on your accounts, that's all. But Fiona was on the case. She was on it straight away, and she's already alerted the police. So they will be doing something to secure her phone. And then, of course, everything else will be okay by proxy. So it's just awful for her. Faith is terrified. That's Avid's daughter. And the sad part is that we don't know if somebody is working at X, Twitter, that's helping the data breach. She's handing the evidence over to Sussex Police. She has evidence that someone working at X or Twitter is helping the trolls that I blocked today. So Twitter has a data breach. Trolls could be given access to any of our personal data. Elon Musk will not want to hear this. If he hears this, he will take... This is terrible. When Twitter... I mean, you know that when I was taken down from YouTube all the time, you know that somebody in Google had control of the block, the button that switches your account off. And I found out who the person was, and I've notified everybody that I can, and I'm waiting now for the results. Well, obviously, it's somebody in X has got the same authority that this person had in YouTube. And I asked myself the question, could it be the same person? Because when Elon Musk took over Twitter, a lot of disgruntled employees walked out. You know the sort, the woke ones. He didn't care. He said, ta-ra, ta-ra. And where did they go then? They must have found somewhere else to work in a similar field. Did they go to Google? Did they go to YouTube? Did they get friendly with who I think pulled the plug on my account? Have they still got contacts within the X group, even though they're working now and friendly with, because it's a small world in that tech industry in San Francisco. And it could be that somebody has contacted somebody on the inside and asked them to give them the details. If there's a data breach, it's very, very important, this is. Oh, look at this. I kept this today. Have a little look at this. This is a joke.
Respects my bravery, bravery and vulnerability. And Beyonce just texted. Really, Matt?
Shut up.
Just checking in.
Just checking in. Just casual.
I still can't believe she knows who I am.
Go and call her.
No, it's okay. She said she wants me to feel safe and protected. She admires and respects my bravery and vulnerability, and she thinks I was selected to break generational curse. Beyonce just texted.
Can you believe that? That is the worst acting I've ever seen. Prince Harry looks straight at the camera and then tells, shut up. And then she admires my bravery and my vulnerability and my ability to cross-check. Oh, my God, let's have one more listen just for the hell of it.
Beyonce just texted. Really, Matt?
Shut up.
Just checking in.
Just checking in. Just casual.
I still can't believe she knows who I am.
Go and call her.
No, it's okay. She said she wants me to feel safe and protected. She admires and respects my bravery and vulnerability, and she thinks I was selected to break generational curse.
Oh, my God, I was selected to break generational curses. Love, the only curse we've got is your presence. Honest to God, that's shocking. That's shocking. That account there. I thought it was somebody else. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say. I think that's all. Except that Avid Gardener saw that picture, that one there, of Prince William really losing his rag at the football. Do you remember when he was kind of like that? And Avid Gardner said, I expect he's looking at that football and imagining it's Harry's head. Oh, if she did, then they said that there was 3 complaints that I saw going into YouTube and Twitter and all the people that matter saying that Avid Gardner was inciting violence and trying to use Harry's head as a football, something like that. That's why I say you've got to be ever so careful what you're saying, because they will deliberately misread it, and then they will twist it so that it's not, you can't say it's not the same, but it means a different meaning. They take it and put it in another context. It's a very, very malicious, sneaky, sly way of trying to get people banned. That's what happens. That's what they do. Look at these. Now, these are the 7 deadly sins, right? Let's see how many of these we've got. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. How many of those has Meghan got? Now, did you know that they also they received £500 to donate to a charity of their choice? It was an award for the enlightened decision to have only 2 children. So for only having 2 children, they got an award of £500. I mean, how many people out there have got 2 children that struggle to feed those 2 children, and yet these 2 got an award of 500? It's not right. And I hope, look at this, you know these wind turbines, how much it takes, how much steel, 260 tons of steel that require 300 tons of iron ore and 170 tons of coking coal, all mined, transported and produced by hydrocarbons. A windmill could spin until it falls apart and never generate as much energy as was invested in building it. So in other words, wind turbines are not worth the energy it costs to build them. They don't pay back in dividends. Terrible. There's another bad account there. Device spike. Quite a lot. There we are. This is it. Daisy York, and then a low down, whatever they call them. You sowed violent imagery in people's minds of Prince Harry's head being beheaded and used as a football by his brother. You know Prince Harry is already a target because of who he is and as a veteran of the British Army. Copied into Sussex Police. Daisy York turned that joke of Avid Gardner's into that. And makes me wonder, is that Prince Harry behind that account? Prince Harry is behind some of these accounts. So much for free speech, Avid Gardner. Horrible. Horrible. Oliver Cromwell is back. Daisy York. Got to watch her. Bestie. Anyway, just this one is nasty. Very nasty. I think that could be Harry. There's a lot of them and they're really getting nasty at the moment. Oh, this was the one where I talk about paracetamol and codeine. And believe it, I never realised I had shared a group chat with, what's his name? Russell Green. I had no idea at all I'd shared a channel with him. I don't even want to play it, I'm so ashamed. But it's okay. Anyway, I'm just letting you know about all that so that you can keep an eye on your phone. If you want to stop any rays getting to it, shut it in the microwave for the night if you're not going to be using it. But don't forget to pull the plug out of the microwave. Then it acts like one of those Richmond boxes, I think they call them, where no rays can penetrate. I don't know. I don't know why I don't. I think I'm a bit tired actually, but you can always use that and just to stop any rays getting into it. But don't turn the microwave on, for God's sake, otherwise I'll be in trouble having to buy you all new phones. Just bear that in mind, all right? And I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me. And I'm glad I caught you in order to forewarn you about the hacking problem that we've got. You'll be okay. Everything will be okay. Avid Gardner knows her father was a lawyer. He had freedom of the City of London. He could run his sheep across London Bridge legally. Yeah, that's another story though. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Thank you for listening. Cheerio.